When The Last Campfire was shown back during the March Indie World presentation, this was the game that I was honestly the most excited about from that presentation, and I thought that was a pretty good presentation. Honestly, what really intrigued me about this game is the art, the music, everything just really drew me into this game. So, how well did this game deliver? Is this a game that is worth checking out for you? Yo, what's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. My name is Ryan, aka Arpid. Thank you so much for tuning into this video and this review of The Last Campfire. This is what I've been looking to for a while, honestly. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new here to the channel or if you haven't done so already. And make sure to like the video if you guys enjoy my reviews. But without further ado, let's get into The Last Campfire for the Nintendo Switch. So we are going to be covering the story, things I loved about the game, things I didn't love so much, and then the final verdict. This story is centered around Ember, who is making his way through a place where the lost embers go when their lights begin to fade. Along your journey, you come across these campfires. You can help save those that have lost their way and bring them back to those campfires to help them continue their journey as well. A narrator is with you throughout your journey, explaining Ember's thoughts along with the world that you are experiencing. In order to save these lost embers, you first have to find them wherever they may be, then jump into a puzzle to recover the fire within inside of them. Now, the story itself is actually one of my favorite things about this game. It really just gives you kind of a sense of thought and self-reflection, I suppose, just because it's a very metaphorical journey, at least in my opinion. Sure, at face value, you know, you're kind of this random looking ember thing that you don't really know what that is because that doesn't exist in the real world, right? But everything that you are experiencing with Ember in your journey is definitely a very metaphorical idea. The visuals in this game really just make this game feel at home on the Switch. It just feels like a game that was really made for the Switch. That, coupled with the music in the background, just really brings this whole journey together. The core of this game absolutely is trudging through this journey and solving these different puzzles that you come across. And for me, the puzzles do a really good job of doing some introductory puzzles at the beginning, but then slowly increasing in difficulty as you progress. But they never feel too daunting, and for me, I really like that because I enjoyed the puzzles, but I also was just kind of dying to get back into the journey itself. And so for me, the puzzles were really good. Now, some of you may think the puzzles are too simple, and that's totally fine. Now, for me, I personally liked it though, just so that I could keep going on with my journey without feeling too much frustration on the puzzle aspect. Now let's get into some things that definitely could use some work. Now, some of the drawbacks definitely is the length of the game. Now, this game took me roughly 4 hours to beat, and that includes, you know, there was one puzzle I definitely got a little bit stuck on that I spent more time on than a lot of the others. But you can definitely get a really good 4-hour experience out of this. Now, this game being $15, I don't think that's necessarily such a bad thing. But I could see where some people would think that's pretty short, so that you can definitely chalk that up to one of the more negative things about the game. Now, honestly, the only other negative things are some of the minor glitches in this game. Now, honestly, with the amount of glitches I saw, I'm surprised there weren't any things like loading delays when you enter a new area. Where it really came down to the frame rate drops was when you are entering the puzzles after you find one of these lost embers. So yeah, going in and out of these puzzles is definitely where I saw those frame rate drops, if there were any in this game. Personally, I didn't feel like this really got too much in the way of the experience of the game, but it is something that could definitely use some cleaning up with some future patches, I think, in the future. Now, there was one glitch that definitely sort of broke the game, and that was when I tried to interact with an object. It teleported me to the top of the statue, and then I couldn't get down because I wasn't really supposed to be there. So the only way to get out of it was just to quit out of the game and reload it. This was the only major glitch I ran into, so I don't know if there are other glitches out there like this, but this is the only one that I ran into that actually forced me to quit out of the game. The last thing I'll say as far as performance issues go is that sometimes when you're exiting a puzzle, you would get kind of this weird camera angle where you were looking through a wall, but that only happened maybe 2 to 3 times during the 4-hour experience. So it wasn't super common, but it did happen a handful of times. Now, let's get into whether or not this game is worth picking up. Now, for me personally, this is an experience that I really enjoyed. The combination of the journey, the art, the visuals, the music, all just tied in together beautifully in my opinion. This is probably one of the best $15 games that you're gonna find out there on the eShop right now. I just think it did a really good job of combining the puzzle element with the journey itself to make it feel like you were never stuck in one place or that you weren't excited to get to the next area at the same time. Without these minor visual glitches and performance issues, I would probably give this game a really solid 9 out of 10. Now, because there are these minor things, I will bump it down to probably an 8.5. But if this is something that can get fixed in the future, this is easily one of the most beautiful games. And like I said before, this is really a game that feels super at home on the Nintendo Switch. Really just feels like a game that was designed exactly for it. It doesn't seem like a game that requires too much as far as visual performance, things like that, and probably something that they can fix in the future with some future patches. So if that's the case, this absolutely is a must-buy in my opinion for the Nintendo Switch. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.